Hello, hello, hello. Today's February 22nd, 2024. A bit of a fun date to write out. You get to write about four twos in a row. Awesome. Today I would like to discuss why I hate algorithms. But, you know, let's give some context here. I think that's important. Context, context, context. It seems like we can't get enough of that word these days. I've been in a class that is dedicated to epistemology, the theory of knowledge. What does it mean to truly know things? And so it's kind of been simmering, marinating in my mind this idea of, okay, maybe our scope of knowledge is more limited than I originally thought, these sorts of ideas. And it's like, I don't know how it translated. I've always thought about algorithms in this sort of philosophical way, but I'm consider myself a philosopher. Sure, yeah, kep. Um, it translated somehow to what is creativity? How do we create? What does it mean to create? And in 2024, I think it's a lot different than we've ever really experienced, especially if you go back like 100 years ago. In some ways, I think that creativity has become better. We have more capacity to create, right? Like nowadays, anyone can become one theoretically. But we'll be getting into these sorts of ideas in just a minute. I want to give even more context by asking the question of, well, what are algorithms? And according to the internet, funnily enough, algorithms are rules, signals, and data that determine how content gets filtered, ranked, and recommended. So essentially, algorithms influence what we see on the internet to some extent. Obviously it differs when you type into YouTube, I don't know, Chelsea versus Manchester United Premier League highlights. Like that's when you were deciding what you see, but a lot of our content consumption, if you will, is dictated by recommended pages, for you pages, explore pages, whatever whatever they're called on whichever platform. And this is obviously an important thing. Social media companies have dictation over information in some regards, right? And many Americans, and this is the data that I could find through Pew Research. Obviously, the whole world collectively may differ, but majorities of Americans say algorithms shouldn't be used to make real-world decisions, like resume screenings, dictating personal finance scores. I like the word dictating right now, but it goes to show that for real things, Americans do distrust algorithms. Additionally, many polled acknowledge that algorithms reflect programmers or designers' biases, right? I think we saw this with Twitter to some extent. Obviously, this is a very nuanced discussion. And even now, we saw it on both sides of the coin, I would argue. Now we see it a bit more right-leaning upon its becoming X with Elon. And I think we should also keep in mind that according to these polls, younger people are split. I think younger people understand algorithms a bit better, and they may be less polarized in these ways. But yeah, I think that's important to keep in mind. Younger people are more aware of what algorithms are. They know that controversial content will be favored kind of no matter what it is. It's not necessarily a bias on the programmer's part, but that's a very nuanced discussion, and I'm not a computer scientist. So, moving on, most importantly here, according to the data, 74% of US adults reported that social media does not accurately reflect society, therefore reality. Social media algorithms are giving us things that really don't truly show what real life is actually like. you can go to a coffee shop and it is not as polarized as social media, right? It's obviously had an adverse effect, and we all know this. In the political lens, I would say, because I think it's good that people have an opportunity to show their art in whichever way that it is, whether it's music, actual art. Like there's a someone who creates like custom Pokemon cards. I wish I remember their name, but they're awesome. And I don't think that something like this would have happened 100 years ago. You would have had to, you know, do it way differently. But now let's sort of slide into the metaphysical portion of this video. I'm kind of juiced up right now. How can we ever know if what we create is good right now? Right? In some regards, we have to pander to the algorithm. If you want to make a YouTube video and you hope that it gets seen, what's a way that you can do it? I think you might know this. I think you might know this, especially because you're watching on YouTube. It's to use red arrows, red circles, these types of things. Say, I just ordered every single Big Mac at the McDonald's. I spent $10,000 on sneakers. I stayed in Walmart for 48 hours. All these sorts of things. And it's really an outcome of Mr. Beast, which, no hate to him. He wanted to build a successful brand, right? Like, I don't think that's wrong. And he studied how algorithms work. But now, he influenced the algorithm to favor his videos, and now there's a subset of that sort of thing. So I even see it with soccer related content now. Like, it has the Mr. Beast thumbnail format. So yeah, I just feel it disturbs the space to authentically create. And you can get into the ethics of artistry, the nuance of all of it. Like, is it really art if you want to make money out of it? This is something that I'm not very educated on, and here, let me, disclaimer, this is a journal. These are just things that I think about, and so I would like to engage in a conversation. I could very well be wrong about all of this, but nevertheless, it's not encouraging to have your art, your work, go unnoticed, right? Like, you put in effort, and a lot of the ways that you get the reward from that effort is for people to tell you that you like it. I think this is just simple. It doesn't even have to correspond to money, right? Like, a lot of the YouTubers that I watch, there's no possible way that what they do could be their full-time job. It's just their passion. It's not necessarily about the money, but in order for them to keep going, it's because of their fans and the recognition that they get and they deserve. So there's a lot of ethics or philosophy of art, I guess. I've mainly studied analytical philosophy, so this isn't really my thing, but I really just feel like the capacity to gauge what really is creative gets diminished. After all, I think if you abstract it another layer and look at the economic structure that we're in, capitalism favors efficiency that translates to profits. And all these social media companies would like to make money, and they get it through their ad revenue most of the time. Now there's some membership plans and things like that, but whatever content promotes the most ads is gonna get reinforced, and the algorithm's gonna favor it because it's profit driven. Now, do I have solutions? I would much rather see communal algorithms. I guess something more along the lines of Reddit. I'm not sure what distinguishes Reddit's algorithm from others. I'm sure that there are some, but they're more forums than things like this. You post something, and then people comment about it. Yeah, I would like to know your thoughts. I just don't really know how you can effectively create when when things are set up in this way. If you have objections, please let me know. I apologize for the lighting. This lighting is atrocious, but there's not a whole lot I can do. I cannot physically uproot my room, at least today. I don't have the time for it today. Hope you're having a good day. I don't really think it's necessary for me to go into my day, or should I? No, it's been pretty bland. It's already Thursday. Every single journal I say, it's already, you know. I guess another philosophical idea I could bring up is just the importance of being present. It's not really even philosophical, it's kind of just practical advice. But yeah, I had fun doing like this minuscule research for this video, so I hope you enjoyed. If you like what you see, help me out with the algorithm. You know the ways to do so. Yeah, peace and love.